Hey, good morning. It's Freemotion Fridays and got another fun episode. This is just a single design. It's not a project, but I feel like this has enough, and this will also be kind of short and sweet. I think our design project ended up getting a little longer than my intent, so we'll see what happens as we go forward. Today I'm going to go ahead and show some concentric circles and some tips about how to manage them. I think sometimes there is some challenges with flow for that design. So I want to go ahead and share just some tips about that and what can make it a little bit easier. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start. Right now I've just got some basic fabric on there. It's plain and the thread is not that bright. It's a little bit light colored, just so you can see, but hopefully we'll still be able to see it. When you start out with a circle, if you cannot draw a circle, then you should draw one. Okay, what I mean is you should be practicing and just going around again and again and again. Okay. That motion is very specific. You're constantly changing it. So if you have, just some paper and you can trace a circle, some small circles, trace a bunch of them on there and just sit there and go like this over and over again. Just draw over them 1,000,000 times because that motion, you need that in your body. You can't really make a circle until your brain knows what the relationships are and how it rotates. Okay, so once we do that, let's just go ahead and we'll just make one real quick. Actually, I'm going to even turn this over because I don't want that purple distracting me. I get distracted easily, you know that. Okay, so there's my bobbin. Right now, once I sew the first one, that'll tack over it. Okay, so what happens with a circle, a small circle, is you have to change directions pretty rapidly. Let's get in just a little closer, I think. Good morning. Good morning, Joyce. Good morning, Di. Good morning, my friends. So cool to have you here. Okay, so let's just start. When you make a circle, go faster, especially if it's a little circle. Just go faster, start your gas and just go. Okay, there's my circle. And now I'm just going to make a bigger one. And when I do that first outline to get back to the center, what you have to try to think about is looking for the center position. It's okay if your circle is like a little oval, a little oblongy, whatever. What will be really important is that when you come back, you are connecting the dot. Right there. So if that's the center position of these two where they're emanating from, you really want to try to get back to that spot. So let's just clip these real quick. I have new glasses and I'm just like, I can tell that I'm like, I can't find anything. that little point of the bifocal is the difference. Okay, so let's sew a few of them and then we'll start talking about things. Okay, I'm going to tuck this one in and the other one is going to go on the inside. And then just fill in that hole. Now here, I can travel wherever I want. If I want to make the point of concentric right here because I want to move this way, then I'll just go a few more stitches, I'll make it, and I'll just come out right here and fill this area. If I needed to travel over to this side, I can just take a few more stitches and I can go around the circle a little bit more until I can get on that side. And then I can fill that gap. So going around until you decide which side do I need to be on. So I'm on the inside. If this one's too big, I'll make a little baby and then I'll make a bigger one. I can tuck it in as much as I want, almost like a curl. I can just do a loop without one. That'll add a little diversity. periodically just, go ahead and make the loop without it. So tuck it right here, and here I'll fill in that gap. And we'll come out this way. I'm using the foot as a spacer a little bit. So right here, like if I'm coming into that gap, but I don't want to be too tight, then I can use the foot as a little guide to give me some room. And here we'll dip in, change directions. Ooh, gotta change my hand position. So if there's some gaps in here, we can fill those in too if we want to. We can try and put a little baby in there. Just follow the path. And just put some little baby ones in there. Ideally, I would want to try to fill those in if I could. And then I can just wiggle out. Kind of get back to some side over here. So right here, let's get a little faster because we really need that speed. And then here we have a gap, so let's concentrate on it. And we'll come out on this side. So right now I can decide where I want to go, which direction, whatever I want to do. I think that this is important to be looking ahead with this. Let's see if we can get a little bit more. We're kind of out of our view, right? Let's turn that. So this is that Fantastico. And you can see now we've got some of these little pearls in here. So somewhere along the way, we better put some more of those in so that they don't look like they're a disaster, right? So we'll just put some little tiny string of them. And that can fill in. And then here, come out. And we'll do a triple on this one. So inside tiny, and then fill in the gap. What this does is I think this is a really important training tool because it lets you track along your existing stitch line. You're practicing that. You're aiming to get back to the center. So that's also important because that's that point of transition right there where these two are connected. So we're aiming for that. And then it's also helping you practice your visual spacing. Can I make it round? Can I come back to the center? How close do I need to get? Filling in the gap. Let's put some of those little loop-de-loops in here. That'll get us out of that dip. Dip around. So I usually fill in inside after I do the outline. And I think that that helps guide the spacing. So like right now, I'll put this on the inside. I usually don't do the small one, and then the bigger one like that. Because a lot of times you don't have the space for it because you haven't created space for it. So here we're making that space and then we're filling in. So make the space first. That way it's protected. And then put your little loop in there. Changing sizes. Okay, let's put a big one in. Coming around a little bit, and we'll put the smaller one in now, and we'll split the difference. So this is something that definitely feels better after you warm up. I actually stitched a bunch of it this morning because I think circles are hard, and if your muscles are tight, it's hard to get that rhythm going. So you can like start and do a little bit and then see, are they rounder as I go? All right, let's see if we have some questions or anything real quick. Oh my goodness, my glasses are just, I cannot see. I don't know what is going on. I need some more light over here. Hi, Julie. Hi, Rita. I am using Fantastico right now. This is color 5148, and I do love it. It is so pretty. Can you guys see how gorgeous those colors are? This is on white, so it's kind of a nice subtlety. It's not really, really bright. It has yellow, some light blues, and just a light pastel pink. I would call this like baby girl kind of color maybe, but really pretty, love it. So this is really great texture, and you can just wiggle around. It's easy to fill in, and if you did this in white, then this becomes all texture and just background fill. And so that's just something that you can do. Let me show you one more design that I did with these concentric circles. And what's important with concentric circles is that you practice the scale that you want to sew at. So I'm just going to turn this really quickly, and if I want to do a bigger circle, I think bigger circles are harder. Kind of have to keep track of the relationship as you're going around so they don't get too squared up or too long. Got to kind of look out ahead. Bring yourself back to your start point. Ooh, I wung out a little bit. Did you see it? Okay, so not horrible, but I think those are definitely harder to do than the little ones. The little ones are definitely easier, but I'm going to just tack it off, and I'm going to pull up something else that I've done, and it's a way to combine both rulers and Freemotion, and it helps with the organization of the design. So this is clamshells right here. Obviously you can see them because they are clamshells. Let's kind of come out a little bit so we can get more of it in there. Let's see, there we go. Can you see it good enough? So with this, what I did is I went ahead and I just filled these with concentric circles going in different directions. And this is harder because you obviously have cuts. So as this circle comes in, he's got to follow this line and then kind of restart the circle here and then cut over. There's also a good bit of traveling on the outside edge. So this gold is really, really visible. We'll do it with this thread, and we'll just do a couple like in this section so you can see. And the key to making this feel a little bit more random is that the circles don't start at the same place. So if you did a bunch of these, it's almost hard to find the clamshell, but the clamshells, the benefit of it is it organizes the design visually because your brain knows it's there, which I think is kind of cool. So let's go ahead and we'll just put a few of these in. And these, as I said, are a little bit harder. So if you want to do something like these, you should be drawing with maybe like quarters or poker chips or something like that. When you just put a few of those onto your paper and trace those, because you need to make these bigger circles as you get started right there. So here's the touch, and then A little bit of speed. So in my mind, I've got to think about where would I be touching over here if I came in with that circle. That's the trickiest part, I think. And then we don't want the next one to start, you know, like maybe right there or whatever. So we're over here, we're going to have to travel. So this is the practice of traveling on the existing stitch line, then making a choice. How far do I want to go? Where do I want to start the next one? And then once I decide, I can just go right into it. You have to kind of grade in and out of the circle. So here we have to travel a little bit and get that one in there. I think this part is the hardest part because it's hard to get the same angle. And then here we'll just go like that. Okay, and then what we'll do here, we'll just travel and we'll just kind of put a few connectors in so you can kind of see. So we'll just start this one here since he's plenty of space for that. And now I'm on this other side, so obviously I'm moving that way. I'm able to travel with this, which is nice. So we'll just come up a little bit just to create that randomness so we don't have everything all at the same spot. Speed is key. And touch, slow down just a little bit, get the rest of that in, and travel up. And I can kind of put one in there if I want to. It's about that spacing, you know, I can decide. So let's put one on this side since we're close on this side. That'll help increase our randomization. So here we're going to just come back this way. And we'll just scoot down. And let's just do one of these like right near the corner here. So this will be our point of the circle right there. He's getting a little wonky, but I'm okay with that. Try and slow down maybe just to clean him up just a little bit. And so, you know, you can see I'll turn it this way and it's a pretty fun fill. You know, it adds a lot of motion. There's a lot of activity going on. And this is just something that could be a really good fill. And you could do smaller clamshells, of course. This is a 3-inch clamshell. And if you can't make them round, then let's just show one more where we don't have to. It's okay. If you can't make them round, just make like a teardrop shape. And then you can just make that teardrop flow instead. And that's okay too. He might be a little easier to fill in that sense that you don't have to be round. And then you can just travel. And this one kind of goes this way, so we'll make this one go a different direction. I would still use the clamshell I like that it organizes the visual impact. So right here, there's a little gap right here. If I have the opportunity to come back this way and fill it in, then I could, or I can just leave it. It's totally up to me. On this one, we filled both on this side, so let's go ahead and just travel down a few stitches, and we'll just come up this way. We'll just make this one go a different direction on the other side. So let's just fill this side. And we'll just come back over to this side. Okay, and then we're on this next section and we already have another space. So you can see that those look good too. They have a lot of fun. I probably would want to travel and kind of fill it in a little bit more evenly. Like if I'm not leaving a gap on one, then I probably don't want to leave a gap on the other. So let's just kind of come down. We'll make this one more of a little bit linear. So he'll touch the side and travel. Okay, and then these are both kind of from the center, so let's go ahead and we'll actually go the other direction on this one and just kind of put him from the top so we can increase our randomization, make an active decision to go a different way. So it's kind of closed now, so we'll just go on this side. Just follow along. And then we'll come over and fill the other side. So this is pretty easy to travel in that sense. Like we've absolutely been able to have that flow all across that design, right? Oh God, I love that on black. So pretty. I love the gold and I love the beautiful colors. Right? And then let's do our little concentric circle fill in just a couple of these because I think that would be cute as well. We're on the edge here, so we can do a partial like that. And just travel out and do the next one. Travel down a little bit so we have some more room to do this next one. Fill in that little gap right there. Fill in the gap. Okay, and so then there's just that little crazy fill in that one spot. So this is pretty busy. I wouldn't want to do like all of these like that. And another thing that you can do in here is we could do a little frame on the inside. I'll show you what I mean. If we wanted to separate them a little bit, And then you can fill this in. So that would increase a little bit of space on there. Here's the one with more of the teardrop shape. And then we'll just do another teardrop right there. We'll fill this one before we go the other direction. So that way you can just put something maybe in there. This could create a space. You can even use like your mini arc or anything like that. Anything that would be the echo here, because this is the 3-inch right here. So we could use the 2-inch and that would create a little visual space right here. So that way all of these won't just crush together, because if you have a lot of quilting right on the edge here, it's nice to have some breathing room. So maybe only one row. Maybe this row has the breathing room, this one doesn't, and then this one does. Something like that. That just plays with it a little bit to change how the impact is of the one design right up against the other. Let me just cut it real quick and we'll just take it off so we can see it a little better. Alrighty, let's come up a little. I'm going to just bring my camera up just a little bit because he's very ornery this morning and he does not want to behave. Okay, close your eyes just for a second. There we go. So you can see, so you could just little changes like that we've done can make a big difference. And this is a 40 weight thread that we're using right now. So it's very heavy, you know, so all of these lines right here, you're going to see all of the travel on those. But if I had a 40 weight, a 50 weight or 60 weight thread, or even something fine like silk or something like that, these threads are going to be a lot finer. And when you're doing your little circles and your little loops and you're transitioning between these, a thread like this is going to hide that much better, especially if it is the same color or close color to your fabric. Even if you are doing tone on tone work, I always recommend just a little difference in color. Like if you have white and it's like a blue white, then maybe a very, very pale blue would be nice. Or if you have kind of a creamy color, then maybe a really pale yellow, just so that your work has value and shows up a little bit. Even if it's really small like that, I think it is nice to have that. So let's see what people are saying. I gotta scroll up just a minute. Hang on just a second. Oh, I don't know why I can't see the comments. Oh, here we go. I can see more comments now. There we go. Oh my goodness. Now I really can't read it. My God, I'm going to have to get these glasses adjusted because I cannot read anything right now. Holy mackerel. Okay, well, I'm sorry, guys. I'm looking at the screen. It's about, 3 feet away from me, and I literally cannot read the words at all. So, oh. Anyway, I hope you had fun. Play, 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 play. So go ahead and work with your concentric circles. They make great little fills. They're good for micro, and then they're great for big. So don't feel like they have to be too roundy. If you can't make them round, make them oval, make them oblong. But practicing a circle is a great skill. So if you have dotty fabric, for example, circle on that a bunch of times and everything else. So definitely that would be really fun. All right, you guys, I'm going to say goodbye. I got a busy day. I got my new pattern. I'm working on the Crossworks quilt pattern today. And I don't know if you saw, but I have a ridiculous amount of classes next week. So go and sign up for one if you want to. There's something for everybody. Have a terrific week. Bye, you guys.